Good morning. Can everyone see me and hear me? Give me a little wave or a thumbs up if so. Awesome. Welcome you guys and thank you for being here. I'm Jennifer with Sensational Kids. Thanks so much for signing on this morning. We are recording this presentation so that we can share it with you all and also anybody who wasn't able to join us live this morning. So since we're recording, I'm going to mute all of us during the presentation so that we don't get any background noise to either distract us or come up in the recording, if that's okay. So because everyone's going to be muted, I'm going to ask you to do all of our communication via the chat. So if you don't have that chat box up on the side of your screen yet, down on the bottom toolbar, there's a little box that says chat. If you click that, you should get a bar down the side of your computer. Can everyone just let me know that you see that? You have a chat. So if you have any questions or issues during the call about the technology, I'm going to stay on as moderator before the whole time that Allison's on with us. So if you have any questions about the technology, please feel free to type it in there. And then she's going to ask you some questions to communicate back and forth. And when you have questions for her, we'll use that chat box all together. So just for now, get comfortable in your chair. Maybe go grab a glass of water if you don't already have one. And Allison will join us live in just a moment. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, we're all learning this technology. She forgot to unmute me and hit record. You got record going? Good. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I know sometimes it's hard to step away from your family just to give yourself some self-care. Before we keep going, I think, Jennifer, you actually do have to switch me to the host because I just see your picture. So yeah, let's just switch that. Okay. All right, so let's see if that switches. Can everybody see me in the main screen? Not that I need all this. Thank you, Nancy, for the thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, awesome. I can't. I'm still in a little corner. But Jennifer, you look beautiful, so I see you. All right, for those of you that I don't know, actually in the chat, can you just put in if you were here last week, just so I know? So just a little yes or no. Oh, Nancy, you're just joining us today. Great. Awesome. Awesome. Karen, yes. Cynthia, no. Okay. Those of you that did not, yes, and you watched. Great, Jamie. Those of you that were not here last week, did you receive the recordings of last week? It's okay if you didn't watch them. Yes, Nancy did. Okay, so we're just learning all this technology. We've never done this before. So I appreciate. Oh, Nancy, you heard about it 15 minutes ago. From where? You got an email. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we're just learning about all of this technology and trying to use it in the most effective and efficient way to reach our goal. And our goal is to support you. So you all know we're doing these calls on Thursdays for parents and for Fridays for educators. And our main purpose is to help give you the tools that you need to stay centered, grounded, in touch with everything that's going on within you, giving you the management skills so that you could manage that. Because when you are cared for, right? When you are grounded and calm, that is the best way for you to support your family and your kids. that are home right now. I know from working with parents and with educators for so many years, we typically are like, what can we do with the kids? What can we do with the kids? Can I have practices for the kids? While that's what we specialize in, we are also very aware of the science around all of these practices. And what we absolutely know for sure is that children, no matter what their age, in order for them to self-regulate, in order for them to develop the skills to calm themselves, to focus, all of those types of things that we want them to be able to do, it comes through us as the adults first. So it's sort of like that analogy of when you fly in a plane and the flight attendant or the recording says to you, if the cabin is to lose air pressure, everybody go into your chat right now. And the oxygen mask comes down, who is the first person that you put that oxygen mask on? Me. Yeah, it's us. Because we need to be fueled up and balanced in order to care for the other people around us. But here's like the cool science part of it. Our neurology and our nervous system is actually designed to hook up to the other nervous systems around us. So it's not about an actual lesson like, okay, now I'm going to teach you how to calm down. It is through this unspoken body language, emotional state. It is through that that our nervous systems link up, and we have the ability to help our kids manage themselves and to find grounding, calm, security, and safety. It is through us. So again, the purpose of these calls is, while I am teaching you tools that you absolutely can use with your children, they're for you first. So what I'm teaching you is child-friendly, but it's really about creating this sense of safety and calm and regulation within our own nervous systems. The way that I'm going to run the call today is, I thought of this as TTT. So first, we're going to talk. I'd like you to stay engaged. Put things in the chat box. If something comes up, you have an aha, put it in the chat box. So first, we're going to talk. Then I'm going to teach. And then I'm going to give you time to ask questions. So the end of this call is going to be for questions. What I'll ask of you now is, if you have questions, just jot them down, because we don't want to lose them as the chat box keeps going. I will ask you at a particular point, like, does anybody have any questions? And what I'll do is then I'll read the questions, and I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability for the time that we have. But I assure you that in some way, I'm going to get all your questions answered. So it might be through another video, it might be through a blog, but I will make sure in the follow-up email that you get that your questions are answered. Okay, so what I really wanted to talk about today really stems from, of course, what we're all going through. And let me just ask you this first. How is everybody's week? Because some of you were here for the past week, and probably all of us have already been in cocooning, right? We've already been home. So just put in the chat, like, how have you been feeling this week? Yeah, ups and downs, Jen. The ends are starting to fray. Yeah. This is my week 2 from working online, but I'm good. Awesome, Nancy. Awesome. All right, so some of you may have seen the video that I added in one of the emails that I sent. Jamie, mixed emotions. Kim, better than last week, getting in more of a new routine. Great, in virtual school. Yeah, a lot of this is about routine, getting yourself into a new routine. It's like those of you that watch Bill Maher, it's like new rules. We've all got new rules. Nancy, it's hard not to get stuck into the news. Yeah. We're only, in my family, we're only watching the news like 10 minutes before we sit down for dinner. The TV's not on all day because it can really be scary. So what I wanted to share with you today is something that probably a lot of you have experienced in the past or experienced a bit more because of what we're all going through. I want to share with you a story of what happened to me over the weekend. So all last week, my team and I were preparing to really get these calls going and get a format and a sequence so that it's easy, so that we're not bombarding you. I mean, my team, I have to say, I am so blessed to have an incredible team, because we really, really pulled together and put all our brains together and energy together to do this. But by the time Saturday hit, because we had so much energy flowing last week, by the time Saturday hit, my brain went into this massive fog. We also call it freeze. And how I noticed that my brain went into freeze mode is I was on the phone with my web designer, because again, we're trying to figure out the easiest ways to communicate with you so that we're not bombarding you. And he had an awesome plan. It was like 3 steps. I just had to give him a couple of blurbs. And he was explaining to me what I needed to do in these 3 steps. And he said it once, and I'm like, could you just tell me that again? And then he said it again. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get that. What was step 1 again? 3 times. I mean, every time he was being kind and slow, and we've been working together for years, so he knows I usually get things pretty quickly. But by the 4th and 5th time, I recognize that I'm hearing his words. I'm hearing him tell me step 1, this is what you do, step 2. But my brain was so frozen, I couldn't compute the words that he was saying. I couldn't follow along and process them and make a decision about what I'm supposed to do. And what I was neurologically experiencing is called freeze mode of our brain. And it's when the thinking part of our brain actually shuts down. I was thankful in that moment that I recognized what was happening, because typically, I think many of us, when we're in a state of freeze, we get mad at the other person, like maybe blaming them for like, I don't understand what you're saying. It doesn't make sense. Or we get mad at ourselves, like, why am I not getting this? Has anybody been there? Been there before? Yeah, just type in the chat if you've noticed you've ever been, or this week maybe a bit more, you've been in that freeze mode. Yeah, yeah, I hate that foggy feeling, Nancy. Yes, yeah, freeze on and off. Yeah, kind of like grief. Yeah, the cause of what puts us in freeze mode, for everybody, it's different. For me, it was overwhelm. And I guess I could say it was grief too, because the other thing that was happening in my home on Saturday is we started to hear about like friends and family that do have the virus. So it was really, really starting to hit home. So what happened to me at that point, when I realized like this isn't computing, I am in freeze zone, what helped me was I was immediately able to acknowledge that for myself and give myself a bit of compassion. So rather than getting mad at him, because I realized, I mean, he was being as kind and comforting as possible. And instead of being mad at myself, I just had compassion for myself, realizing that I'm just stuck in this neurological loop, that my brain all of our brains do that as a defense mechanism when we're sensing danger. And this is what our children do as well. You know, all the times when you think that they're not listening to you, sometimes they are in this loop of freeze because they're overwhelmed by the emotional state. It could be grief, it could be uncertainty, it could be not feeling safe, but our brain is literally stuck in freeze. And when that happens, the thinking part of our brain turns off. So in that moment of compassion, essentially what I did is I knew I had to remove myself from that situation with my web designer. And I just said, John, you are being so kind right now. And I know that you are explaining this to me in a very rational way, but my brain is just a big fog. And I need to take care of myself right now. And once I feel like my brain is back online, I'm going to contact you and we can go over this again. And he was great, you know, and it took a whole day for me to be able to do that with him. Now, I'm sharing this with you because it's really important for all of us to be able to have that awareness of what our emotional state is in the moment and how our brain is managing that. Sometimes our thinking thoughts are causing those emotions, but sometimes the emotions are causing our brain to literally go into this freeze zone. So the practices that I want to share with you today are things that we could do to help open up and clear the fog. And the way that I know how to take care of this is I think of this a lot as energy, right? We all have energy throughout our body and it surrounds us. And when you're in freeze mode, it's like the energy is stuck. It's stuck somewhere in the body. There's no energy going to the brain. And when we talk about being calm, being grounded, being balanced, we are balancing the mind, the body, and the heart. And that happens through allowing a flow of energy through our body. But when we're stuck in fear, when we just want to run and get out of here, and we're stuck in freeze, our energy gets stuck. So to move the energy, we're going to move our body. So why don't we all stand up and move any furniture? You know, I just have a chair, so I'm going to move my chair. All right, and I'm going to do my best to center myself here. Kim, thank you. That was a great explanation. Thank you. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is separate your feet about hip distance apart. And what we're going to do, it's shaking. So we're going to start small, start by shaking your hands, bend your knees just a little bit, and allow your body to bounce. Maybe shift your body side to side and start to get your arms into it. Now, while you're doing this, big, long, deep breaths. You could even breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And now really start to get your hips into it. So typically when we have stuck energy, all the energy is low in our body. It's around our hips. So just big circles with your hips. Go in one direction and then the other. Big long breaths. And then start to shake everything as best you can. Okay, I'm going to do this and count to 10, but you are going to want to, like wild, shake yourself. Make sure you're breathing in and out really deep. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, take a big breath in, reach your arms all the way up. And a big breath out, let your arms come all the way down. Let's do that again. Big breath in, arms all the way up. Big breath out, arms all the way down. All right, now we're going to do what's called invisible chair. This is from our Educate to Be, our elementary school curriculum. Bring your feet just under your hips. You're gonna take a big breath in, our arms go all the way up. Breathe in through your nose. Then you're gonna squat like you're sitting on a chair, but you're gonna cross your hands onto opposite shoulders. So breathe in, lift up. Exhale, squat down. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, squat down. Big breaths, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, now we're gonna get our thinking brain into this a little bit more. Breathe in, lift up. Now you're gonna cross, squat, and put your hands on your knees. Breathe in, lift up. Now you're gonna squat, cross, put your hands on your shoulders. So we're gonna alternate. Breathe in, breathe out, hands on your knees. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, cross, hands on shoulders. Breathe in, lift up. Cross, knees. Breathe in, lift up. Cross shoulders. Okay, we're gonna go a little faster. Breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Last one. Breathe out. Big breath in, reach all the way up. Then tighten your whole body. Tight, 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 tight. Exhale, shake it out. Wiggle your legs. One more time, big breath in, lift all the way up. Big breath out, shake, 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 shake. All right, bring your hands to your heart for a moment. Gently close your eyes. And just notice what you feel. So in your imagination, you can just scan your body from your feet all the way to the top of your head. Notice what's very loud in your body. For me, it's my heart and my breath. And then notice what's very soft in your body. Where maybe there was a little bit of a release. Okay, then gently bring your hands down to your side. We're just going to do a few gentle spine movements. So take a big breath in, reach your arms forward and your heart forward. And then exhale, you're going to give yourself a hug, but round your back like a scaredy cat. So this is like cat-cow in yoga. Big breath in, heart shines forward, big breath out. Round your back. Big breath in. Big breath out. Okay, here's something else you could do to get your brain involved. Big breath in, arms out. Now cross your arms with the opposite arm on top. Then big breath in. Big breath out. Now opposite arm on top. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in, and breathe out. And then a big breath in, lift your arms all the way up, and you're gonna clasp your hands together. Separate your feet a little bit greater than hip distance apart, and we're just going to be leaning side to side. So big breath in, reach your arms and your spine long up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, you're gonna lean over to one side. Then big breath in, lift all the way up. Big breath out, over to the other side. Breathe in, lift all the way up. Breathe out, over to the other side. Make sure you are breathing. Breathe in. and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Big breath in, arms all the way up. And then exhale your arms down to the side. All right, one more spinal movement, which is rotation. So let's start with our hands on our heart. This is called I Am Swings. This is also from our Educate to Be program. Okay, the hand that's on top, you're gonna take that and you're gonna swing it all the way behind you and look at your hand. So you have a total twist, your entire spine and neck. You're looking at your hand behind you. Then exhale, bring that hand back to your heart. Then switch hands. Big breath in, all the way back. Exhale, bring that hand back to your heart. Switch hands. Big breath in, reach all the way back. Exhale, bring that hand back to your heart. Switch hands, big breath in, reach all the way back. Breath out, bring that hand to the heart. Okay, here, what we're gonna do is a few more times. What I usually do with the children is we add an affirmation to this. So we could say, I am safe, I am calm, I am smart, I am peaceful. So I'm gonna have you pick your own affirmation. And the way that you're gonna do this is you're gonna breathe in and think to yourself, I am. And as you breathe out and bring your hand back to your heart, you say your affirmative word. So I'm just gonna say, I am calm, but I'll do it one time and then I'll be silent so that you can all just really hear and feel your own affirmation. All right, so big breath in, reach all the way back. I am, exhale, calm. Switch hands, breathe in. I am, breathe out, calm. Now you use your affirmation. So you're moving to your own pace, what feels good to you, but you're moving with your breath. This is how you help ground yourself, calm the energy. So do one more each side. And then standing again with your feet hip distance apart, your hands on your heart. Gently close your eyes. And now really bring the attention to your feet on the floor. Notice that your feet are grounded into the floor. The floor is supporting your feet. And then scan your body up your legs. Feel the engagement and the strength in your legs. And then bring your awareness scanning your belly and your back. Maybe even bring a hand to your belly and take a few deep breaths, filling your belly. And then notice your heart. Maybe you notice a little bit of change of what you were feeling in your heart when we started the practice and when we started moving the energy within the practice. And then scan all the way up to the top of your head. And maybe just do a little adjustment here, lengthening your spine again. So it's like you're growing your body tall from your feet all the way to the top of your head. And now imagine that in the center of your body, whatever the center means to you, imagine that there's a ball of light. And now imagine that that ball of light dives deep down into the earth. It connects you into the earth. It's like a golden strand. It dives deep into the earth. And once it hits the earth, it starts to root and spread. And as it spreads, just like roots of a tree, it still keeps that bright, light, golden color. So what we're doing here is we are connecting to the energy of the earth to ground us and to help us feel safe. Now imagine that this cord of light dives deep into the center of the earth. And from the center of the earth, we are able to be nourished by the earth. So imagine energy of the earth now traveling up this cord of light and coming into the center of your body. So it comes in from all of those tentacles of those roots. Comes up your feet, up your legs, into the center of your body. And then imagine that there's another cord of light that goes from the center of your body all the way up through the top of your head. And it goes all the way up into the heavens. Whatever that means for you. Into the universe, into space. But imagine that energy from the unknown or from whatever soothes you of your deeper knowing. Imagine that there is energy from there entering that upper cord of light. And it is traveling down that cord of light through the top of your head, down your spine, through your heart to the center of your body. Okay, these imaginary cords of light are meant to ground you, to protect you, to keep you steady, to keep you safe. Never deny the power of your imagination, of how it could help you, especially now. So together, take a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out. Again, a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And before you open your eyes, just check in with yourself and notice how you feel right now in this moment. In this moment. And then gently flutter your eyes open. Relax your hands by your side. And why don't we come back into our chairs and sit down together. All right, if everybody could go to your chat box and just type in how you're feeling right now, what you thought of that practice. Okay, I'm happy and at peace. Nice. So I'll wait for some more people just to share. What we know through the science of these practices is that it is so important for us to name how we're feeling. We call it name it to tame it. And usually that refers to naming to tame challenging emotions. But what we also know is that it's really important for us to name the good ones, to take time to savor and soak up those moments that just feel really good. So let me read some of these. Cynthia says, awesome. Jennifer, so much more settled. Jamie, more grounded. Kim, happy and at peace. Nancy, I felt relaxed as I was doing it, but towards the end, my chest got a little tight. Yep. I also released my email notifications, though they were going off, and I think it took me out of the space. And you know what? It's all about being aware, self-aware, which it's awesome. You recognized how you were feeling, Nancy, and then you recognize what made you feel that way. So now that gives you the power to just next time make a decision. I mean, you already know you had to, you had to put on your notifications, right? So that doesn't happen again. So, for this week and going forward, what I would like you to keep in mind is how else can you savor those moments that actually fill you up through the day. Sometimes you could call that as just like a moment of gratitude, because the human mind has this negative bias. We're always looking for the danger. We're always looking for the problem. We're always looking for something to solve or something to fix. Well, we have an abundance of that right now. So our job as parents to stay grounded and supportive of our family is to continually point out and look for the blessing of things. Look for the goodness in things. Even if it's like, wow, we all get to sit down for dinner together. I know for me, that actually is a blessing because we never do. We hardly, even as my kids were growing up, we hardly ever sat down for dinner all together because my husband worked really late and my kids were in sports and, dance class and gymnastics and all of this. We were running around. We actually now every night sit down together. Now, we don't always have the greatest conversations, but it's a start. No, we do have really nice conversations. But you see how even me, right there, it's like, okay, this is good, but we have to catch ourselves. Mary, I see you laughing at me. All right, I'm just going to read a little bit more. Oh, you didn't know that they were on, Nancy. You have more calm energy now, Cynthia. Wonderful. So we started this out. I was talking about, you're laughing with me. Thanks, Mary. We're talking about energy. Right? And moving energy. Brain fog is stuck energy. Our practice today was just to move the energy. And here's another thing that one of my yoga teachers really taught me is that energy doesn't die, right? Energy doesn't leave. Like when you're angry and you have the energy of anger, it's not about how do I get rid of this energy? It's about transforming energy. So moving it, right, helps to transform it from where it is. When we have no energy left in our body, that's when we're dead. We're not here, right? It's just like the physical body, right? So we're not looking to get rid of feelings. We're not looking to get rid of the anger, get rid of the fog. What we want to do is we want to transform the energy within our body. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Kim, thank you for the heart. Thank you. Create space by leaning out. Yeah, okay, wonderful. So right now I'd like to open this up to any questions that you might have for me. If you can keep them related to the practices, but if it is a general question, I'll answer honestly whether I can answer it or not. Just so you know, along with being a pediatric occupational therapist and a parent of 3 now 20-plus-year-olds, I have a lot of experience with integrating these practices and the philosophies of yoga and mindfulness into my life as a parent. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. For those of you that were with us last week, if you have utilized some of the things that I taught last week, I'd love to know how it's going. Kim, wondering if you had any Shrewsbury teachers to your call last week. honestly, I don't know. Last week we had like almost 100 parents, and I asked people to put in where they were from, but I couldn't actually read it fast enough. So I don't know. But is that where you're from, Kim? Okay, I told the superintendent about your Friday call, yes. And it could be that on the Friday call with teachers, that there were people there. What I would ask of all of you, because this would really help us get the word out, is if you shared the link to all. So it's the sign up form. In fact, Jen, do you have that? Let me see if I have it up on my computer. I don't right now, but Jennifer, do you have the link for the sign up? If you could put it in the chat so that people can grab it from there and just share it. And I ask that you share the sign up link rather than like the email with the Zoom calls, because we're really trying to protect the space of Zoom. We hear that there's a lot of like hackers and things, so we don't want people just randomly sending the Zoom link out. That's why I'm not posting the Zoom link on Facebook, because I hear that there's, you know, scammers hopping in on Zoom calls because they're getting the links off of things like Facebook and Instagram. So we feel like it's safer for all of us if we do it through the sign up, and then I personally send each person through our constant contact of how to get on. But please do. I mean, there's lots of space here for more people to join in. All right, so Jen, did you post that, the link in here? Jolynn, you Googled Sensational Kids and shared that link. Is that okay? So you got that link off of where? As long as they get to the page where they're able to put in their name and their email address, that's awesome. Yeah, no, Jennifer, I'm looking for the web page, the actual web page. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Oh, I know how I can get it. Give me just 1 second, everybody, because I want you to have the right link. It'll just take me a sec. All right, here I go. Okay, so here's the link that you could share with anybody and everybody that you know. Oh, you got it off of the website. Yeah, that probably is fine. So Nancy, I also asked teachers to share with their parents. Great. Oh, that's how I found out about it, on an email with the Zoom information. So if I get the invite, I'll have them share the invite. Okay, so the invite now is, you can add a password. I'll get the invite and I'll have them share the invite instead. That would be great. You can add a password now if you're afraid of scammers. You know what, I'm gonna try to not do it with the password because it's just like another step. And again, I'm just trying to make things as easy as possible. Cynthia, I've been in a meeting. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Great, thank you, thank you. All right, so nobody else has any other questions? Does anybody have a specific topic that you would like us to cover during these calls? Because my team and I have said we're going to be here. We're going to do this every week at this time. So if you have any suggestions or requests of what you would like us to cover, we're happy to do that. The other thing that I'm going to suggest is I'm going to put in Jennifer's I'm going to put in her email address here. If you have questions or suggestions throughout the week, something comes up in your week, if you want to reach out to her, she'll relay it to me. So Kim, you sent that message to me privately. Can you let me know if it's okay to just read that question? Yeah, okay, great. So Kim asked, what to do if someone falls ill and doesn't have a lot of energy to do these movements? All right, so if they're ill and they need to rest, then they need to rest. What I would suggest is helping them do anything where they can just follow their breath, relax their body, and be in a space of healing. So one thing that's really, really important is that we listen to our body and listen to what our body needs. And in this time when we could be, and now, Kim, are you referring to becoming ill because of something chronic or because of being sick and potentially having the virus? You have a friend who has COVID. I think it's important to rest, because if we allow ourselves to rest, the body knows how to heal. Part of our problem in our society is we always think we have to do something to make things better and to get rid of something quicker. Our bodies know how to heal. We have to give it the time, the permission, and the compassion to let it go through its process of what it needs to do. So rest and fluids. Okay. All right, Mary, maybe we can offer some restorative practices in the future. That would be really great. Yeah, that would be really, really great. All right, so if nobody has any other questions, before we leave, I'd like to do one other quick meditation. All right, thanks, Kim. So if everybody just wants to come into your seat with your spine long, hands on your heart, feet on the floor, gently close your eyes, bring yourself to your breath. So tune into you. And for a moment, just reconnect to those cords of light that we used our imagination to form within our body. And imagine that the center of your body now just continues to absorb the energy of the earth and the energy of the heavens as healing energy. Healing energy that's now within us. And imagine from the center of our body that healing energy just moves throughout our entire body. Maybe you imagine it moving through your bones or your muscles, your nerves, your veins, your arteries. Maybe even every cell of your body. It moves into your red blood cells, your white blood cells, your platelets. Every cell. Just lighting it up like a light bulb. And imagine that you light up so brightly that it shines around you. It shines beyond your skin, lights up everything around you. And then think of one word that you would like to fill that light up with right now. Maybe it's love, patience, kindness, gratitude. And then think of someone or many that you would like to send a cord of that light from you to. It could be several people, Could also be to everyone. Everyone in our country, everyone in the world. Right? We're not giving up our energy. We're transforming it. We're actually expanding it. And then bring yourself again to your own awareness with your own bright light surrounding you. The warmth that's in your heart, the peace that's in your body. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Gently relax your hands on your lap. And again, check in with yourself. Just notice how you feel in your inner space, your inner landscape. And when you're ready, just flutter your eyes open. And I wish you all just a fabulous week. Remember, we're all doing the best we can with what we have. If there's some way that myself or my team can help you this week by addressing a question or a need, please, please reach out to us. We are here to help as best we can. And again, anybody that you could share this link with, again, we want to serve more people that we could help. One of my big wishes out of all of this is that there are more of us that are willing to do the inner work that we need to heal this planet, right? It takes inner work. And that's what we're hoping to teach everybody how to do. All right, so I'm going to sign off. If there's any last words that you'd like to say to our group, to my team or me, feel free to put them in. And remember, every week it'll be the same time, same Zoom link, same time. All right, take care, everybody. Till next week.